A very good morning, everyone. I hope last day what we have done, yesterday what we have done, you have just been able to understand what is the interlinkage and what is the way of doing IDT. Have you even got a little bit idea that IDT is all about linkage, everyone? So now we are going to start with the main concept, that is GST, that is goods and service tax. GST is nothing but goods and service tax. So basically now we have to understand that when you want to apply taxes, when you want to charge GST on particular transaction, I'm not saying supply. I'm saying if you want to apply GST on a particular transaction, it has to be supply. That means, suppose I'm providing services to you. This is a kind of transaction. This transaction should fall in the definition of supply, then only you will be applying GST. That means the taxable event in GST is supply. Can I say this? Point number one, taxable event in GST is nothing but supply. Done? First point, everyone understood? Now, so when taxable event of GST is supply, when the taxable event of GST is nothing but supply, see, supply is nothing. Supply is the taxable event of GST. So I have to understand this definition very wisely. Now this definition, that is definition of supply, has been given where? It has been given in section number 7. Section number 7 states about the definition of supply, and everyone, you have to pay attention over here. Abhi ke abhi samajhna hai, we have to understand everything right now. Okay, after the class it should be only revision. Pay so much of attention ki whatever we are doing right now we have to understand, and right now we will try to learn also. Okay, chalo. So we are going to understand the definition of supply. Section number 7 is about the definition of supply. Now section number 7, it states supply includes. It states that supply includes. Yesterday it was my mistake. I by mistake said ki mean has been written here. Yesterday I said na ki supply ke there what have been written, mean have been written. That has been my mistake. It's not mean, it is include. So it is an inclusive definition. तो supply के यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? It writes the word includes. Includes means it is an inclusive definition. It is nothing but an inclusive definition. Whenever instead of include, if it is not include, what has been written? If instead of include, whenever with the definition mean has been written, that means it is an exclusive definition. क्या ये बात सब समझ में आई? If mean has been written, it is an exclusive definition. If include has been written, it is an inclusive definition. Everyone, this point clear for every definition, whether law, whether audit, wherever it has been written. Now, supply includes all form of supply. Supply includes all form of supply, whether of goods, whether of service, or both. Again, supply includes all form. It is saying whatever supply you do. It is saying whatever supply you do, all the kinds of supply of goods and all the kind of supply of service is included. That means for the purpose of GST, it has to be goods. For the purpose of GST, it has to be service. Then only you will say कि all form of goods and service का supply हुआ है. So, ma'am, in general, is everything is a good in GST? No. Is everything service in GST? No. They have specifically given the definition of goods. They have specifically given the definition of service, and only that part is included for the purpose of GST. Till now, have you just understood कि GST में, in case of GST, it is not every kind of goods you will apply GST. It is only that goods that has been included in the definition of GST. तो सबसे पहले just repeating in हिंदी, it is nothing. अगर आपको GST अप्लाई करना है तो गुड्स वही होंगे जो गुड्स क्या है, ऑलरेडी हमको बताया है कि ये GST के गुड्स है. Only that service जो GST की सर्विस बता के रखी है. So GST goods have been defined, GST service has been defined. If you fall in the preview of goods, if it fall in the preview of service, then only GST applicable. It is clear till now? Any doubt in this? Because this is the, I can say, very root cause. Now, ma'am, what is good and what is service? What is good and what is service? So coming to the definition of goods. बहुत ध्यान से पे full attention है, because you will find lots of crux in this छोटी सी definition also. So it is saying that when it comes to the definition of goods, when it comes to what? The definition of goods, what has been written? Good means. I forgot. What do you mean if mean has been written in a definition? I don't know the interpretation. Can anyone tell me what is the interpretation of this word?
Exclusive.
That is exclusive. What do you mean by exclusive? I said exclusive, but can you elaborate the meaning of exclusive? Tell me, what do you mean by exclusive?
Exclusive means here whatever is written, okay, it has to be the same. In inclusive, it could include something else as well, which is, so this is like kind of when I say inclusive, that is a kind of example kind of a definition. It can include something else as well. But here it should be very, very specific. So whatever is written, that only will fall under goods.
So I can say that when mean has been written, whatever word to word written in the definition, it has to be same. Whatever word to word written in the definition, it has to be same. But when it comes to include, similar kind of things would also be included. If it is fulfilling the criteria, also similar kind of things, that identical kind of things will also be included. But this is what? This is strict. If it is fulfilling all the conditions, then only whatever covered here, this will be included. Got it? Now, good means every kind of movable property. Focus, focus, focus. It is saying good means every kind of movable property. Abdul, your video should be on, that is compulsory. Every kind of movable property, ma'am, every kind of movable property. What about immovable property? Are you getting what I'm trying to put in your head? It is strictly saying that first of all, the definition is mean. Completely yahi hoga, nothing else. If it is mean, that means only movable property, ma'am, included in the goods. Yes. Then, ma'am, what about the immovable property? So I think immovable property should be service. If something is not good, it should be service, right? Itni baat samajh mein aayi? If something is not good, that means it should be service. So let us check, is immovable property included in the definition of service? So dekhte hain ek baar. Here it has been written, service means anything. Again, it is an exclusive definition. Service is also an exclusive definition. It is saying service means anything other than goods. Shit. Anything other than goods. Instead of good, I am writing movable property. Okay? For the time being, instead of goods, for the purpose of explanation, I am writing movable. Because here it says goods means movable property. So can I write movable property here instead of goods? लिख सकती हूँ? Can I do? तो अभी वो बोल रहा है कि good means movable property. Okay. Service means anything other than goods. That means anything other than movable property. That means immovable property. So service is equal to immovable property. Can I say service is nothing but immovable property? अब ये क्या इतनी बात समझ में आई कि movable property is good, done. If something other than goods, that is what is left, immovable property. अब इसका मतलब if you sell land, if you sell building, तो property tax still exists. Property tax तो अभी भी लगता है. Stamp duty still exists. It means from the definition, the interpretation is coming. From the definition, the interpretation is coming. Sale of land, sale of building, it is what? Liable to GST. But generally, is it actually? कि क्या GST सच में लगता है? Is it actually? No, it is property tax. So I guess the definition is giving us a wrong interpretation. अब तुम बताओ, मैं अगर अपना house, I am selling my house. Is it good? No. Is it service? No. Sale of house is not a service. Service is intangible. We understand the meaning of intangible. Service you cannot touch, it is intangible. So now, for the purpose of our first linkage, for the purpose of removing this thing, because it was giving a wrong interpretation, there is a schedule number 3. What has been given? There has been given schedule number 3. अब schedule number 3 में मैम क्या लिख के रखा है? In schedule number 3, there is a point. In schedule number 3, there is a point they have written sale of land and sale of building. There is a paragraph exception over there, but for the purpose of understanding the definition, I have taken only this. Sale of land, sale of building, schedule number 3 has been given, and schedule number 3 is nothing but negative list. It is nothing but your negative list. That means it is neither supply of goods or not supply of service. Neither supply of goods nor supply of service, because the definition was giving a wrong interpretation. Are you understanding? Definition was giving a wrong interpretation to clear the interpretation that no, sale of land, sale of building is neither supply of goods nor supply of service, because my supply, the definition was including goods and service, and service was including immovable property. Therefore, to clear this wrong interpretation, they have included it in their schedule number 3. Understood this thing? First point. Any doubt here? Anyone having any doubt? So basically, good means movable property. Done. Due to this, I was just confused whether immovable property is included in service. From the definition, I was saying yes. Then they have cleared my interpretation ki no. This supply of land, supply of building will not be included here, because we have exclusively excluded it from schedule number 3, that sale of land, sale of building, neither supply of goods nor supply of service. That means immovable property is neither good, immovable property is neither service. Understood this first point, everyone? We will write down, I will dictate you. But first point about the goods clear, interpretation number 1. Now, so ma'am, good means clear, movable property is also clear. Now they are saying this money and security. Goods do not include money, goods do not include security. Similarly, service do not include money, service do not include security. That means, example number 1. Suppose Jaya comes to me and say, ma'am, please give me 10 lakh rupees ka loan. So I have just given her a 10 lakh rupees ka loan. Is it transaction in money? I have just given what? Money. So this is transaction in money. She will return me 10 lakh rupees. Am I earning? Am I earning something? 10 lakh I am giving, 10 lakh she is giving me back. So where is my revenue? When you do not have any consideration. When you do not have any consideration, ma'am, why you put this word consideration? Remember, yesterday you have read that definition ki one of the element is consideration. One of the elements should be consideration. When you do not have any consideration, what is the logic? So this is pure transaction of money, giving 10 lakh, receiving 10 lakh, giving 10 lakh, receiving 10 lakh. I do not earn anything. So why to charge GST when you are not earning anything? So whenever pure transaction of money is there, you will not apply GST. Wait, ma'am. We will flip the example. Again giving 10 lakh to Jaya, but now I am saying 1 lakh will be my interest. 1 lakh will be my interest. Am I earning now? This is my interest. Ma'am, would we apply GST on interest? For the time being, I will say yes. For the time being, I will say yes, because now you are earning, but later on in mega exemption, you will find that has been exempted. That has been what? Exempted. So which interest has been exempted? It is not every interest exempted, but bank ke purpose ke liye interest ka exemption is there. So first of all, are you getting? Money is neither good, money is neither service. So money related transaction is neither supply of goods, money related transaction is neither supply of service. But if you charge a certain consideration for this money, that certain consideration will be liable to GST. Are you getting this? Now, ma'am, what about security? Exclusively they are saying no, security is neither goods nor service. That means suppose I sold my shares to whom? Lakshmi. I am selling my shares to Lakshmi. This is security. Neither goods nor service, no GST. Done? So what we have understood till now, we have understood one thing. Good is also an exclusive definition. Service is also an exclusive definition. Good means only movable property. Service was including immovable property, but my schedule number 3 says sale of land, sale of building is not sale of, that is not service. Good also exclude money and security. Service also exclude money and security. That means money and security is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Done till now? Done? Now, what it includes? Again, good includes. Now, what good includes? Again, very important. Good includes actionable claim. Good includes actionable claim. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of actionable claim? Actionable claim?
Whether we have, we can enforce it and we have a right to get back the money.
I am giving you a promissory note. Remember the promissory note from your CPT level? Promissory note, bills receivable, bills payable, all these are what? Kind of actionable claim from where you can claim your money. That is what actionable claim. Now again, they are saying these actionable claims are good. बहुत important है, इसको भी ध्यान से समझो. Good includes actionable claim. All kinds of actionable claim, whether promissory note, bills receivable, everything has been included. That means, ma'am, if I am giving bills receivable to someone, understand, ma'am, it means I am giving bills receivable to someone. Ma'am, I am giving a promissory note. I will pay you 10 lakh rupees. Ye to just promise है where I am earning. Are you getting to the crux? Again, wrong interpretation getting created from the definition. Ma'am, I am giving a promissory note to a person कि I will pay you 10 lakh rupees. Now, this is just a promissory note. We are not earning any consideration. So, how can you say कि it is a good and GST will be levied on this promissory note? Are you getting the logic? This is creating a wrong thing. So, again, where they will clarify this thing, in neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Again, there is a point in schedule number 3. Now, in schedule number 3, what has been written? In your schedule number 3, they have written. In your schedule number 3, they have written actionable claim are excluded. They are neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Actionable claim are neither supply of goods nor supply of service. except lottery, betting, gambling. Acha, are you getting the purpose? This mainly wanted that lottery, betting and gambling should come in the preview of GST. Therefore, first they included actionable claim in definition of goods. Now it is goods. And then in schedule number 3, Kumar, they have excluded what? Every actionable claim they have excluded, but they are saying this is not excluded. That means GST levied on lottery, betting, gambling. So are you getting one thing? If they want to include something, pehle to supply ki definition mein it should come. So everything they have included in the definition of supply come. Now, either in schedule number 3 they are excluding, either through mega exemption they will exclude the things. So what is the importance of schedule number 3? If something has been included in the definition of what? Something has been included in the definition of goods or in the definition of service, that means automatically it is supply. If it is supply, then they will say, Ruko, check schedule number 3, whether neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Also check whether has been mega exempted. You are going to apply GST, check the mega exemption. So are you getting the flow? First of all, everything included. Then slowly either schedule number 3 or slowly it is mega exemption where you will find an exception. This definition has much more. Right now, again repeating, because this 5 days is only dedicated to supply. So now I think you are getting why I'm taking 5 days, because very little interpretations are there. Point number 1. I forgot. Supply is inclusive or exclusive definition? I forgot. Unmute everyone.
Includes.
Includes. Good is exclusive or inclusive definition?
Exclusive.
Service is inclusive or exclusive?
Exclusive.
What was the word that was giving an interpretation that it is inclusive or it is exclusive?
Includes means.
Exclude में हमें good money and security.
No. What was the word that gives me interpretation that this definition is inclusive and this definition is exclusive? There is a word, na?
Means exclusive.
Means exclusive. Include means?
Includes.
Inclusive. In goods, they have excluded 2 things. What was that?
Money and security.
And in service also, they have excluded something.
Money and
security.
So can I say money, security, neither goods nor service?
Yes.
But if I am earning something, I am giving someone money and earning interest, for the time being, do not go to mega exemption. For the time being, is additional consideration for those money liable to GST?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
If I am providing the service of security, I am not selling the security. No. Services that I am a broker, providing the service related to security, that will be included.
Yes.
Yes, because sale of security not included, but service related to the security is service.
Included.
Then I forgot, good is what? Movable or immovable?
Movable.
And service was giving some interpretation. What was that?
Anything other than
Immovable
goods.
property.
It includes movable property.
Movable property.
Service was writing other than goods. That means automatically it includes immovable property, right? Automatically. Then to clear the interpretation, where they have given something, no, sale of land, sale of building is not actually service. Where they have given
Schedule 3.
schedule number 3. What was the word written in schedule number 3? What was the sentence?
Sale of land and sale of building.
Securities is
Neither
not
supply of
neither
goods or
supply
service.
goods neither
Very
supply service.
Again, there was something they have included what promissory note, bills.
Actionable claims.
Actionable claims,
So
neither
first of
supply
all-
of goods.
Yes, first of all,
Include.
they have made it at a good. This is a good. Then we thought your promissory note will be also leviable to GST, everything GST. Then again clarification given where
Lottery, betting and
Lottery,
gambling.
betting, gambling,
Are
supply of goods.
Lottery, betting and gambling liable to GST,
GST.
and all the actionable claims excluded where in schedule number 3. Schedule number 3 states all actionable claims are excluded except lottery,
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 betting, gambling.
only that. Ma'am, lottery, betting and gambling GST lagega, right? There will be GST. What will be the value? Now valuation you will find there in your value of supply ka chapter. Value of supply chapter has exclusive rule for lottery, betting and gambling. Are you getting? So this is my first linkage with respect to goods, that is movable wala, immovable wala, giving to schedule number 3. Second linkage, actionable claim, that is going to lottery, betting, gambling, and lottery, betting, gambling is going to value of supply ka chapter. Are you clear with these 2 linkages? Everyone, any doubt? Okay. No. Moving to next. Now they have given this. Growing crops. Goods also include what? Growing crops. This is actually not important, but you should understand the logic why they have included this. See, growing crops, grasses, things attached to or forming part of the land agreed to be served before supply or under the contract of supply. They are saying growing crops, all grasses or things that are attached to the land that are also included in goods. Can anyone even think why they have specifically included it in the definition of good? Any logic you can just by reading, you can interpret it.
It is immovable.
It is immovable. Now see, this is my land. Okay, this is my agriculture land. These are my crops. Okay, these are my grasses. Now you cannot move it. It is not even movable property right now because it is having word growing. Growing is not movable. Are you getting? Growing crops are not movable. So when it is not movable, obviously it should be immovable. And immovable, it is coming in the definition of service because it is not land or building. Are you getting? Land or building has been excluded in schedule number 3. That has been included in schedule number 3. Now growing crops is neither land. Growing crops is neither building. So what is the explanation? Now growing crops is not movable. Growing crops actually is not immovable also. So where we should keep it? So specifically they are saying these growing crops are goods. Are you getting the logic? Because land is an immovable property, building an immovable property. For land and building, actionable claim they have given in schedule number 3, they have given the point. But what about this growing crops? They are not movable. They are also not immovable. So specifically says growing crops, your grasses or things that are attached to or forming part of the land. My tower, phone ka tower, telephone tower, that is also not land or building. So they are saying these are all nothing but goods. Now understand the definition of goods. So can I say good have movable property? Good have actionable claim, but actually only lottery, betting, gambling. Actually, it is only lottery, betting, and gambling. Then, if I talk about goods, it is having growing crops, your things attached to land, grasses. And what is not good? Money is not good, security is not good. Service, anything other than goods means all the immovable property was actually included, but sale and land building exclusively they have given. This is not included in your definition of service. Then, ma'am, what about this? Use of money. Service include use of money. Remember, I am giving you loan. I am using the money. The use of money is service. If I am using the money or conversion of money, you came to me with rupees and $1. I am converting the money and separate consideration I am charging from you. For money, anything separate charge. So those separate charges actually you are giving service to that person. Understood? Any doubt in goods and service ki definition? Any doubt? So can we just start writing for the goods and service? I'm dictating, write it down. So point number 1. Taxable event in GST. Taxable event in GST is supply. Point number 1. Taxable event in GST is supply. Point number 2. Supply is inclusive definition. Supply is inclusive definition. As word include has been written. As word include has been written. Done. Now point number 3, right? Supply includes all form of. Supply includes, point number 3, supply includes all form of. Supply of. All form of supply of goods or service. So after writing this line, just beneath that line, make a dash like this. Make a dash like this. Just beneath the line, we are writing interpretation on that. Written this line, supply includes all form of supply of goods or service, and after that, beneath the line, these are the bullets you have to make. Okay, bullet number 1. To be chargeable to GST. To be chargeable to GST, the transaction should be either supply of goods or supply of service. To be liable to chargeable to GST, the transaction should be either supply of good or supply of service. Bullet number 2, in that only bullet. Under GST, good is an exclusive definition. Under GST, goods is an exclusive definition. As word mean has been written. As word mean has been written. And similarly, service also. And similarly, service also. Done. Next bullet. Goods means all movable property. Good means all movable property, which creates an interpretation that immovable property is service. That immovable property is service. However, in Schedule 3, it is specifically mentioned that sale of land or sale of building, neither supply of goods not supply of service. Done?
मैम रिपीट करना शेड्यूल 3 के बाद.
It has been specifically mentioned in Schedule 3 that sale of land or sale of building, neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Done? Then next. Goods include actionable claim. Next bullet. Goods include actionable claim. However, in Schedule 3, it has been mentioned. However, in Schedule 3, it has been mentioned actionable claim except lottery, betting, gambling. Except lottery, betting, gambling are outside the purview of GST. Done? Then next bullet, growing crops, grasses, things attached to land, specifically included in goods, specifically included in goods, as it is neither actually movable, neither immovable. Done? Done? So these are all the interpretations we have done. And these notes will be very important for you because abhi sab samajh mein aa raha hai. Later on when you will be reading that notes, that will give you again an explanation that you have done in class. Okay? And by writing yourself, I prefer if you write yourself, one time writing is 7 times learning. So always when I say give you a task, you read that, so you have to read these notes. Okay? Sure. So this is the definition of goods. This is the definition of service. Again, coming to what? The definition of supply. Are you getting? In the definition of supply, we are covering definitions of good, definition of service. Because what does the definition of supply states? All form of supply of good, all form of supply of service. So have we understood the supply of good? Have we understood supply of service? Now again I have to give some interpretation on goods. Now everything is included in goods, but petroleum, crude oil, your aviation turbine fuel, then your natural gas, these are certain goods that are actually goods, but GST Council will decide when GST will be applicable on this. It means even there are certain goods, you will say, ma'am, this is good because it has not been excluded. Money excluded, security excluded, these are goods. Ruko. Still GST Council will recommend the date, and from that date, GST will be applicable. So what are those goods? Write it down first. that bullet में you should write goods के लिए we are writing there. Certain goods have been deferred for chargeability of GST. Certain goods have been deferred for chargeability of GST. That means GST Council will decide the date. That means GST Council will decide the date. Now, that is point. What are the goods? Aviation turbine fuel. Aviation turbine fuel. Second, motor spirit. Second, motor spirit. Aviation turbine fuel, motor spirit, petroleum and crude oil. Petroleum and crude oil. Then natural gas. Natural gas. Done. Now, again a bullet. See, first of all, listen to me. Specifically article, there is article 246A, I guess. I will check the number, might be I will be wrong. So there is an article that says GST applies on supply of goods or service. Article says GST applies on goods and service except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. That means specifically alcoholic liquor for human consumption is not outside the preview of goods, not outside the preview of service, it is outside the preview of GST. Never ever GST will be applicable on alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Understood? So again a bullet, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, alcoholic liquor for human consumption has been specifically excluded from overall GST. Has been specifically excluded from overall GST. Done? So that means now we have completed one topic, that is goods. Why I am saying only one topic? Because when you will find in question number 1, we are preparing steps for question number 1. The first step for question number 1, that is 14 marks ka question in your paper. First step should be check whether it is good or not. Ma'am, it is goods because it is immovable, it is movable property. But wait, it is what? Actionable claim. Acha ma'am. Not at all chargeable because schedule 3 says neither supply of goods nor supply of service. Ma'am, we think it is goods because it is petroleum. Wait, GST Council has deferred GST ki liability on that. That means not liable to GST now. Non-taxable. It is not taxable right now. Ma'am, we think in natural gas is goods. Again, deferred. So you have to think like that. Ma'am, it is security. Now you cannot write. You will write, it is not a good, it is not a service. Ma'am, it is money. It is not a good, not a service. Ma'am, additional consideration we are charging for money. Leviable to GST, but actually we know we have to check what? Mega exemption. So are you getting the flow? First step should be check whether it is good. Yes, ma'am, it is good. Ma'am, it is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. It is even though outside the preview of GST, so you will find it is movable, but reason should be specific. Agar bola alcoholic liquor for human consumption, you cannot say it is not good. Wrong, totally wrong. It is actually outside the preview of GST. Ma'am, it is money. It is not good, not service. Ma'am, it is security. It is not good, not service. Ma'am, it is natural gas. Don't say it is not goods. No, it has been deferred. So are you getting the specific reason? You have to mention the specific reason, because sometimes they give this kind of goods and want reason also. What is the reason GST not applicable? If you flip the reasons, you actually know that GST not applicable, but your reason should be specific. Understood, everyone? Now our cluster number 1, that is topic number 1, now goods end. Okay? So wherever good ka linkage was there, we have already compiled that linkage at one place. Done? No. Again, moving to the definition of supply. What they have given in the definition of supply: all form of goods, service, or both, such as now it is example. They are giving example. If you send, that is supply. If you transfer, that is supply. If you barter, that is supply. If you exchange, that is supply. I am confused between the meaning of barter and exchange. Barter is also kind of same thing. Exchange is also kind of same thing. What is the basic difference between barter and exchange? Anyone? Barter, exchange.
It is in the barter good exchange against goods, but in exchange it will be the goods plus some money involved. Like we shop mobile on the probably at this moment on Amazon. So you sell your old mobile and then you buy a new mobile. So that is an exchange because you additionally pay the cash as well.
Yes, perfect. So when it comes to barter, I am giving you my stylus and I want something from you. That is purely goods ka. What normally I am saying exchange, but when it is only goods or service, no consideration. No consideration. I am just exchanging something with you without any additional cash consideration. That is barter. Previously, बहुत पुराने ज़माने में it was the same thing. ना, we do barter. But exchange is, I have this laptop, my old laptop I am giving. It will be exchanged for 30,000 only, and rest of the money I have to pay. And that is exchange. And then what is the logic of explaining barter and exchange at this stage of CA final? Again, linkage number 2. When it comes to exchange, I am giving my old laptop. Suppose this is my phone. I am giving you my old phone. This is, you will say, okay, I will take it for 30,000. You are giving me new phone for 70,000. 40,000 so I have to pay now. Now what about this? Ma'am, on mobile phone we cannot apply GST. We need to convert it into cash. We need some value of it. Ma'am, where the value has been given? Because now the consideration is not wholly in money. Are you getting? This consideration is not wholly in money. What about this? Again, rule number 27, value of supply. Rule number 27, value of supply will give you how to calculate consideration for this kind of transactions. What is my linkage to? Again, supply ki definition for one word, exchange. Because in exchange, you do not have consideration wholly in cash. It is either in cash and mixture. So they will give you the rule in 27. Rule 27 states how you will calculate consideration, because on value you will apply GST. Na? Understanding the importance of that chapter, value of supply also. There are various kinds of probabilities. You can do exchange, you can do transfer, everything. So value of supply is there to tell you how to calculate values. Done. So what is the basic difference between barter and exchange? Barter is exclusively changing goods or service with no consideration. But exchange has an element of consideration, and the valuation of this has been given in rule number 27 of value of supply. Quickly write down in your language. Barter, point, change the point now. Change the point. The words such as, I'm dictating right now. The word such as, write in apostrophes. The word such as gives only examples in the definition of supply. Give only examples in the definition of supply. The word such as gives only examples in the definition of supply. where barter means exchange of goods or service, exchange of goods and service with no element of cash, with no element of cash. Then exchange means goods or service as well as cash element also involved. Goods or service as well as cash element involved. And the valuation of this exchange could be calculated, as per rule 27, given in chapter value of supply. Done? See, only in the chapter of supply you have to write much of the stuff because this is the rule. Then writing practice will be less and question practice will be more. This is all about interpretations. Okay. Now they are saying sale. Okay, we understood why they have given sale specifically, because every kind of, they are saying all the kinds of probabilities of your transaction we are including. We have included what? Sales, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. This word ka importance where you will find in schedule number 1. For the time being, not going in that detail. In schedule number 1, you will find the importance of this word disposal. Lease pay you give something, rent pay you give something, every kind of thing. And why they are saying lease, rental? Is it supply of goods or supply of service? If you give something as a license, lease, rental, it is good or service? Logical? Service. It is nothing service. So are you saying every kind of example they have given ki everything is supply? Now this made, agreed to be made. Either you have taken advance or you actually given the supply. Both are supply. Whether you take advance or you actually supply the goods or you actually supply the service. In my case, I have taken advance from you. That means I agree to teach you GST. I agree that I will teach you GST. But suppose, first of all, I will teach you GST, then I will take the fees. That means already supply is made. So made is also included, agreed to be made is also included in the definition of supply. But it should be for a consideration. There should be something. So next point per write, made or agreed to be made. Next point. Supply includes made, that means supply includes made, that means already supply done. That means already supply done. It also includes agreed to be made. It also includes agreed to be made. That means when advance taken. That means when advance taken. Done? But this should be for a consideration. Specifically, this should be for a consideration. This should be for a what? Consideration. Now, for a consideration, what do you understand by consideration? Is it only cash? Is it only that cash could be a consideration?
No, ma'am, that could be the
Kind also. Because why? अभी समझा था ना, exchange you can do, barter you can do. That means it is not that consideration should be in money. Consideration could also be other than money. That means consideration could be paid in cash. Consideration could be paid in kind. First interpretation about the definition of consideration. Consideration could be paid by recipient and consideration could be paid by third person. How it is possible? I am giving service to some other person and consideration paid by third party. I am giving services to, let's say, Abdul, but his father is paying me the fees. So consideration paid by third person. Consideration is what? Paid by third person. Recipient. Suppose Rajesh is recipient, but consideration is paid by his wife. So it is what? Third person is paying the consideration. That is also okay. Who is receiving the service paying the consideration? That is also okay. Now suppose Sachin having some very beautiful dresses at its boutique. Now I say it is 5,500 now. Give me that dress, I will teach you GST. It is nothing. We have done an exchange. Specifically, it is barter. No cash consideration involved. So cash may be ho sakta hai consideration. It could be in kind also. It could be by third person also. It could be by recipient. Normal. Now going to interpretation. Now they are saying consideration does not include. Consideration excludes subsidy by central government, state government. Consideration does not include what? Subsidy if you receive from central government or subsidy you receive from state government, that is not included in your consideration. अब एक चीज मुझे बताओ, who is the person who receives the consideration? Who is the person?
Supplier.
Supplier. Remember one thing, it is from the point of supplier. If supplier is receiving the subsidy, then only it will not form part of the consideration. Example, suppose you will find in mega exemption fair shops वगैरह, you have to just start the fair shop and government gives you the margin or subsidy. So government come to me and government say please teach GST there. ठीक है, मैंने कहा I will teach, but they are saying only for 1,000 you have to teach GST. I said no, it's not at all possible for only 1,000. In any case I cannot. Government saying रुको, we will pay additional 7,000. We will give it. That person will pay you 1,000. We are giving you 7,000. That means total you get 8,000. Are you getting? Government is giving me subsidy. So when government is giving me subsidy, supplier is receiving the subsidy from central government, state government. So actually I am receiving 8,000, but GST will be only on 1,000. Why? Because central government ka, state government ka subsidy doesn't form part of your consideration. Second, LPG cylinder. Everyone getting LPG cylinder at their home. LPG cylinder pe you get central government, state government ka subsidy. You get central government, state government ka subsidy. Would it form part of your consideration? Would it form? Tell me. That 200 ka I guess subsidy we get. So 200 ka subsidy, will it be included in that value of supply or it will not be included?
Not included.
Because central government, state government is giving subsidy, right?
Yeah.
Anyone want to change the answer?
No, actually we are paying that amount, no ma'am. Full amount we are paying, whatever the amount is, and we are only getting back some. It is kind of some refund only for us, but as per the transaction, we are paying the full amount. Only that should be taken. That subsidy should not be considered.
Can I say in one word? You are the recipient. You are not the supplier. So it will be included. First of all, what I said, that subsidy should be received by whom? The person who is supplying. Now you are not the supplier, you are the recipient. So in such a case, even central government, state government is giving you the subsidy, you are the recipient, it will be included in value of supply for the purpose of GST. Are you getting? So when it comes to subsidy by central government, state government, point number one, subsidy from the central government, state government, if received by supplier, yes, it will not be included in your value of supply. Now, if received by recipient, it will definitely be included in your value of supply. Paytm, Google Pay, whatever Amazon we use, we get cashback. We get cashback. Now, would that cashback be included in your value of supply? Suppose 1000 ki thing I have taken, cashback is given to me 200. So GST on 1000 or GST on 800?
1000.
Now reason why 1000?
We are the recipient.
Because
जो
it is received
cashback
by
मिल
the
रहा है मैम
recipient.
वो रेसिपिएंट को मिल रहा है.
Now you are saying because the cash is received by recipient. What about it is not the subsidy by central or state government? What about the second reason? Are you getting it from central government, state government? Amazon.
No.
Are you getting both the things you have to consider? It is not received from central government. It is not received from your state government. Even you are not the seller. You are the recipient. For that reason, not included in value of supply. अभी तक कितना समझ में आया? Now again increasing the level, again taking linkage from value of supply. You might find कि अभी बहुत tough लग रहा है. Once you are comfortable with this linkage, honestly, IDT will be your favorite subject because without linkage, this subject has no logic. ठीक है? अब in value of supply, they have given a point related to discount. In value of supply, they have given a point related to discount. Ki at this point, when I am supplying something to you, and I say I will give you a discount. Abhi मैं supply कर रही हूँ, terms are agreed between you and me. Terms are agreed between you and me कि okay, I will give you इतना discount. So at this point, if I agree, in such a case, yes, it will not be included in your value of supply. That means you have to check. Point number 1, ma'am, whether it is discount. If it is discount, check, is it actually agreed when you were making the supply? If it is discount, so you don't have to see the recipient or supplier ka condition. You have to see only is it agreed when you were supplying. But ma'am, it is not discount, it is subsidiary. Subsidiary pe you will check whether received by supplier, whether it is by central government, state government. Are you getting the probabilities? Probability number 1. If it is subsidiary, check is it received by central, it is given by central state government? Yes, ma'am. Second point, check is it received by recipient or supplier? Ma'am, supplier. Done. Not included in your consideration ka part. Second, ma'am, it is given by central government, state government, but received by recipient. Again, it will be included in your value of supply. Ma'am, it is not subsidiary, it is discount. Do not check who is receiving. Obviously, recipient will receive. That is so obvious. So just check, is it agreed at the time when you were understood? Everyone? Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am. Can you repeat again? If discount is agreed at the time of transaction?
If discount, it should be agreed at the time of supply. But if it is not discount, it is subsidy. Don't see when it is agreed. See who is receiving and who is paying. Done? We will write it. Sachin, we are going to write that. Okay? Now, again, when it comes to subsidy. Now, suppose recipient, the supplier is receiving the subsidy. But actually, this subsidy is provided by a private company. Now, again, the supplier is receiving the subsidy, but who is paying? It's not government. So, are you getting 2 conditions in case of subsidy and 1 condition in case of discount? In case of subsidy, payer kaun hai, you have to check. Who is receiving, that you have to check. In case of discount, at the time of supply, you have to check. Done? Now we will write. Now make a point related to consideration. Consideration. Consideration can be paid Consideration can be paid in cash or in kind. Can be paid by a recipient or third party. In case of subsidy, if received from central state government by supplier, then it do not form part of value of supply.
मैम इन केस से रिपीट करना.
In case of subsidy received from central government, state government by supplier, it do not form part of consideration. Done? 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 Now, again coming to this definition. Now this definition states that consideration. That means if you are getting something, you will pay for that thing. That is consideration. Now suppose instead of consideration, I am giving you a deposit and you have to refund it to me. Now, the deposit I am giving to you, you have to refund it back to me. So it is not at all a consideration. When something cannot be applied as a part of consideration, it is not included in the definition of consideration. If you still remember the example of Reliance, they have introduced that mobile phone 1500 wala. If you remember, they have, it's almost 6-7 years, I guess. There was a phone of 1500. You can purchase that phone for 1500, and anytime there was a lifespan, and you can again return that phone back to them, and they will give you entire 1500 rupees. Now, what Reliance have played, actually utilized this concept when GST was introduced, because they were taking it as a deposit. They sold their phone, they taken 1500. Even if 1 crore of the people would have taken 1500 ka phone, you can imagine the amount. Now they have taken the amount, they have utilized that amount, but shown it as a deposit instead of consideration. So have they paid GST? Because when something is not consideration, you cannot pay GST on that. So even by selling the phone, they shown it as a deposit. And how many of you will be returning 1500 ka phone back? Almost many people will not return. So it was kind of a practical example where deposit you have taken is not part of consideration, and Reliance used that very well. Okay. So what is not consideration? Subsidy from central government, state government. If received by supplier, not consideration. If supplier received deposit and that is a refundable deposit, if that is a refundable deposit, again not consideration. Now suppose that deposit was based on a condition that if you fulfill this condition, then only we will refund it back to you. And now that condition does not meet. You fail to meet that condition. Now that deposit will be treated as consideration, and the year or the date when that deposit will be treated as consideration, then GST will be applicable. Understood? So this is the entire logic of your consideration. However, this chota sa word consideration will give you schedule number 1. Lots of logic again in that. So are you comfortable with goods ki definition? Whatever we have done in the definition of service, now we have covered consideration ka definition, and again write in the consideration definition deposit wala one. Write it down. Refundable deposit. Refundable deposit or deposit that do not form part of consideration or that do not form part of consideration are not included in value of supply. Are not included in value of supply. Now, can I give you another linkage just for the purpose of knowledge? It's not exam oriented, chota sa. Remember, loan wala point, they say transaction in money. They say neither supply of goods nor supply of service because it is not good, not service. And deposit is also a kind of transaction of money. So specifically said that deposit is not a consideration. So their money has been excluded from goods and service. Now what about deposit? So specifically in consideration, they are saying if you receive something as deposit, you have to return. Bank taking fixed deposit, they have to return it back to you. So वो fixed deposit का 10 lakh you do fixed deposit. 10 lakh का amount is a deposit, not a consideration. But interest they are giving on deposit, interest wala part is a consideration. Are you getting? So specifically deposit they have clearly maintained. Even loan wala part they have clearly said that transaction of money is neither good nor service. Done? Chalo. So this was all about your consideration ki definition. It was all about your definition of goods and service. अब ये छोटा सा part क्या लिखा है? Monetary value. They say monetary value of any act or forbearance for supply. Monetary value for any act or forbearance for supply. What do you mean by that? Monetary value for any act or forbearance for supply. Can anyone explain? What do you mean by this monetary value for act forbearance for supply? I have murdered someone and I'm telling you, do not be the eyewitness. Do not be. If you are taking something not to do something, forbearance to do an act, that is also kind of a consideration. So if I'm taking some money, actually dekha jaya to it's not at all important in part of consideration, because anything you get for a service, that is also a service you are providing. So actually consideration, just for the sake of understanding, for forbearance of acts, if you are not doing an act, so we will convert it into monetary value. That is also a consideration. Okay, done. So again, back to the definition of supply. So all form of supply done, all form of supply of goods and service, itni line done. We have done these examples. Made, agreed to be made, we have done. Consideration pay, we have done. By a person. Remember, a person, ma'am, a person who is not registered in GST. He is not registered in GST, he is supplying goods. What is the logic? That is not a supply. Why? Because the person who is not registered, even he is supplying, to GST to pay nahi karna hai na. He is not required to pay GST. From that, I got the interpretation that this should be a taxable person, not registered person. The person registered, all liable to get registered. That person should do all these supplies. Why, ma'am? Because the person liable to get registered, all the supply he would be doing GST, he has to pay on all such supplies. Therefore, the word a person means taxable person. Done? Got that logic? So it is not registered, because if you write a registered person, so only the registered person liable to pay GST. Suppose on 1st of April, GST mein you have threshold limit 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 40 lakh. If you cross that threshold limit, you are liable to pay GST. Okay, for the timing, just remember, if you have not done any time, 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 40 lakh. Suppose me on 1st of April crossed 10 lakh. And I am in that state where 10 lakh is the limit. Now, after crossing 10 lakh, I have 30 days to get myself registered. कितने दिन में application करना होता है हमको registration के लिए? In 30 days, I have to do the application for registration. Okay. So that means from 1st April till 30th April, I am liable to get registered. Are you getting? I am liable to get registered. Are you getting the meaning of word liable to get registered? So from 1st April to 30th April, I am the person who is liable to get registered. So whatever supply I will do during this duration, obviously that should be counted na. Count करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो GST कैसे भरोगे? So that is why this person is taxable person, liable to get registered, or already registered person. Understood that meaning? Now, ma'am, what is this person? Whether you are an individual, whether you are a company, whether you are HUF, whether you are AOP, whether you are cooperative society, person is not only a person. A person means every kind of person, artificial jurisdictional person, every kind of person, but he should be a taxable person. Done? Now write that next wala point. A person in definition means a person a person in definition of supply means taxable person. Means taxable person. Now, taxable person means, again, bullet you have to create and write. Taxable person means person registered or liable to get registered. person registered or liable to get registered. Done. Now again, person includes, write it down, individual, HUF, AOP, write down that. Person includes individual, HUF, AOP, BUI, company. Cooperative society. Done. So this was the meaning of person in your definition of supply. Now, in course furtherance of business. Again, a big definition. In course furtherance of business, we cannot take it now. But understand one thing. Now, if I go into the detail of this concept, that is only my definition ka clause A. Can I say in general, in business, in general, in business, right? This is my business. So in general, in business, if you give either goods or service, mine is service, mine is business, mine is service. And if I am giving for consideration, like general business also have this thing, na? It's general business. Consideration ke liye you will give, either you will give goods, either you will give service. You have business and you should be a taxable person if you want to pay GST. So are you getting itna lamba definition? But actually the crux is simple. In general, in a business, whatever goods or service is sold for a consideration by a registered person liable to GST. Are you getting that logic? What I'm trying to say कि generally तो ये वही बोला है ना कि एक normal से business में goods दो, service दो, पैसा लो. Give goods, give service and पैसा लो. That is nothing. वो liable to GST है. Are you getting that? So this is only with respect to your clause. That's why I'm saying this 5 days you have to write a lot, because this is the root of your GST. Once you are done with this, and again the mega exemption will bring you lots of linkage. Then you will say, okay, अब linkage समझ में आ गया, ठीक है? And for the module number 3, I have already my mind maps. So वो I will give you. I already have mind maps for this also. Let me show you. But that you will utilize only when we have done everything and only for the purpose of revision. These are the mind maps. Already I have created. See, we have done the definition of supply. Supply includes. With consideration, all form of supply. It's not an exhaustive list. Whether made, agreed to be made, what is included in goods, what is there in service, what would be there in course furtherance of business, what is there in schedule number 3, everything written in this chart, everything. Okay? So, but this we will use for the purpose of revision. So once you have done all the analysis, every analysis you have written, actually all the analysis have been written here also. But one time you should write del creditor agent, everything I have written. Okay? So this you will utilize only for the purpose of revision. My revision lecture will be based on this charts. Okay? A4 printing you need for this, because this is A4 size. For proper that you need A4 size ki printing. Then now task for today. Write down the task. You will go to the analysis section of your study material. Directly jump to analysis section. And what you have to read till course furtherance of business. In your analysis section, you will read till course furtherance of business. I will take Viva. Do not say, ma'am, I have done, and you will not be able to answer. Don't do that. Jump to the analysis section and course furtherance of business that you will get to read that. Okay? And timer for reading, don't spend 2 hours. Timer will be exactly 40 minutes ka timer you have to put. In 40 minutes, read everything. Improve your reading skills. Done? Okay? Sure. So now we will connect again at 8 for DT. And already the link have been shared. ठीक है, चलो, एनी क्वेश्चन? कोई दुख है, कोई डाउट है? नो? बोलो।
Ma'am,
Yeah.
discount agreed at the time of supply should be excluded from supply, right? Okay.
But there is a post discount का concept also, but for the time being we cannot touch that.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, subsidy regarding provided by the sorry.
Hindi में भी you can.
Other-
There is no issue. If you want, हिंदी में भी बोल सकते हो. बोलो.
Yeah, मैम सप्लायर आके सब्सिडी देगा तो सॉरी सप्लायर का कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट बोले थे ना मैम.
सब्सिडी जो है ना सप्लायर को ही रिसीव होना चाहिए. अगर वो सेंट्रल
Yeah.
गवर्नमेंट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से रिसीव होगी तो सप्लायर को रिसीव होनी चाहिए सब्सिडी.
Yeah,
तभी तुम उसको
ma'am,
क्या करोगे, कंसिडरेशन से हटाओगे.
ma'am, can you elaborate this, ma'am?
वही बोलो. अब जैसे सपोज करो मुझे सिलेंडर पे सब्सिडी मिल गई, अरे पर मैं सप्लायर थोड़ी ना हूँ. सब्सिडी मुझे सिलेंडर से मुझे सब्सिडी मिल गई, मैं तो रिसिपिएंट हूँ. तो फिर वो तो मेरे को पूरा जीएसटी लगेगा. 1000 की सिलेंडर है, 1000 का सिलेंडर है तो 1000 पे जीएसटी लगेगा. बट यही सिलेंडर पे अगर सप्लायर को सब्सिडी मिलती ना गवर्नमेंट से, तो वो जब पे करता ना जीएसटी, वो 800 पे करता. मतलब सब्सिडी सप्लायर को मिलेगी तो नेट हो जाएगा, और उसके अलावा किसी को भी मिलेगी तो फुल पे जीएसटी लगेगा. आया अब्दुल समझ में?
मैम ये लॉजिक क्या है बोले तो सप्लायर हैज टू पे द टैक्स, दैट्स द रीजन.
देखो
डायरेक्ट लिंकेज
आप इसलिए मत जाओ क्योंकि आईटीसी का कॉन्सेप्ट जनरेट होगा. ठीक है, एक जना लेगा, वो मुझसे तो पूरा जीएसटी कलेक्ट करेगा, लेकिन उसको पे कम करना होगा. आगे का थोड़ा सा उसको लॉजिक रखो क्योंकि वो थोड़ा सा यहाँ के लिए ना ऊपर चला जाएगा. ये सेम चीज तुम्हारे वैल्यू सप्लाई में आएगी, तब हम इसको डिस्कस करते हैं.
Ma'am, same example is applicable for while I am purchasing a motor vehicle. Definitely, subsidy I will get from the central government and state government.
बट वो सब्सिडी किसको मिल रही है? रिसिपिएंट को मिल रही तो नहीं होगा ना. सप्लायर को ही वो सब्सिडी मिलनी चाहिए, क्योंकि सप्लायर ही तो जो बेच रहा है उसको कंसिडरेशन मिलता है, रिसिपिएंट को कंसिडरेशन थोड़ी ना मिलता है. समझ रहे हो?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. एंड वैल्यू ऑफ सप्लाई में सेम कॉन्सेप्ट विल अगेन कम, ये सब्सिडी वाला, बिकॉज वहां पे हमको क्वेश्चंस करने. ठीक है, चलो मिलते हैं फिर 8 बजे. ओके, 8 o'clock.
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके.